We had some rain overnight. The field was covered. We've had a little mist this morning, just under 70 degrees, a slight breeze. And there's Todd Haley. He was the mastermind offensively for that Arizona Cardinal team that made it all the way to the Super Bowl a season ago. And Andy Reid is a two-time NFL head coach of the year, now in his 11th season. Flip of the coin was won by the Eagles, and rookie Ryan Succop will be kicking off for the Kansas City Chiefs. And deep back will be the ex-New England Patriot Ellis Hobbs, who last year was number 2 in the NFL in kick returns. It's the Chiefs, who have lost 6 consecutive games dating back to last year, against the Eagles, who last week lost here to New Orleans. From the 1-yard line, this is Hobbs. Buckley with the block up ahead, and he was knocked a little bit off his stride by Belcher, a rookie out of Maine, a 25-yard return. Michael Vick not in on this first play. It will be 1st and 10. McCoy is in the backfield. Macklin makes his first start, and here is a pass to the tight end Selleck, hit at the 32. Over there they have the linebacker Corey Mays. And yep, Michael Vick will be spread as a receiver here with Cobb as the quarterback. 2nd down and 2. The fullback is in as well, Leonard Weaver. Vick on the move, the fake to him, and they give off to LaShawn McCoy, who is thrown for a loss of about a yard on the play, and they had Vrabel among others over there for Kansas City. Vick is out. You see the assortment of receivers. Nickel secondary for the Chiefs. Kevin Cobb gets a block from Justice. Knocked away in the play. Flowers was right there, and he was working on the intended receiver, Deshaun Jackson. So it's a punting situation. For the first time, 3 and out for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, and really good defense by the Kansas City Chiefs. Excellent recognition by Brandon Flowers. When we talked to him last night, he says, hey, they're going to throw a lot of different formations and alignments at us, but it's all window dressing. We have to be able to recognize the play. On that one, he was dialed in.
Sam Rocca will punt the ball. Deep back is Bobby Wade for the Kansas City Chiefs. And Wade drifting back to the 14. Hang time of 4.1. The ex-Minnesota Viking and Chicago Bears swirls his way out to the 23-yard line and hit out there by Akeem Jordan along with the long snapper. Bradley, a wide receiver, is in the backfield. Copper is atop your screen. 4 defensive backs. 1st and 10. Bradley on the move. And he gets a block right off the bat from Wade, and he is brought down by Samuel along with Michael on a gain of 5. Cox is now in the backfield. Make it 2nd down and 6. Cox in the backfield with Larry Johnson. Couple tight ends. Johnson is hit, and working his way through was Trent Cole on that defensive line. He's a terrific defensive. Hanson becomes the 5th defensive back. You see the assortment of receivers. Jackie Battle is in the backfield, and now he goes in motion. Quick jump by Howard. Here comes Parker. The pressure was there. The penalty flag was thrown across the way. Castle didn't have a chance to breathe.
Oh, my. They were coming through that offensive line as if it were a sieve.
Offside. Number 90, defense. 5-yard penalty. 1st and 10. Kansas City.
I thought Perry got there, rather that Howard got there pretty quickly through that line.
Easy to get pressure on the quarterback when you jump offsides a moment before the ball is snapped, and you could see Howard was grasping at the ankles of Matt Castle. A lot of pressure on the Philadelphia Eagles corners in this game today because they're going to blitz a lot. Even Andy Reid said, yeah, we got to blitz more this week. They didn't come after Drew Brees, but they're definitely going to come after Matt Castle.
Charles in the backfield, Nichols secondary, Jaquay Parker on the defensive line. 1st and 10. This is Wade, met by Samuel and hit by Rogelio Hanson. There's a flag. It's a gain of a couple yards up to the 36. Flag was thrown at the 40-yard line. A look at Bobby Wade.
Offensive pass interference. Number 83. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 1st down.
It's on Bradley.
Yeah, watch the block before the ball is thrown. See, he's already blocking right there, and then the ball is being thrown. So you can't engage with that defender before the ball is thrown from the quarterback.
Parker stays on the defensive line. Still 5 in the secondary. It's 1st down and 20. Battle in the backfield with Larry Johnson. And Johnson, who played at Penn State, Roderick Bunkley throws him for a loss of a yard. Back to the 22.
Well, they're really getting a lot of penetration through that Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. They're going to try to plug every single gap along the way and really get to the quarterback.
Defensively, this Philadelphia defense is ranked in the top 10 statistically for the last 3 consecutive seasons.
Everything's predicated on pressuring the quarterback and then producing turnovers on the back end. We saw that week 1 against Carolina, where they had 5 sacks and then 5 interceptions. Came away in that game with 7 takeaways.
Abiamiri is in as the left defensive end. Out is Parker. Second down and 21. That's Cox, the fullback, in motion. Wow, looks like a delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
You just saw him say, come on, Matt.
Yeah, they have to do a better job of, I think, relaying the play from the sideline, getting it into Matt. Matt told us yesterday they had this problem last week. When we spoke with Matt Cassel yesterday, he said, hey, we had some technical difficulties where the speaker in that helmet wasn't working, but I'm sure Todd Haley said, hey, we can't use that as an excuse because right now they're facing second and very long.
5 defensive backs, second down and 26. Tight end Cottom was in there as a split receiver. And this is Larry Johnson again, not much up the middle. They got Patterson in there, limiting him to a gain of a yard. And marking at the 19-yard line. Yeah, there's such little margin for trouble for Kansas City in a game like this.
Yeah, then you're in a 3rd and 25 situation. You expect the Eagles to come after you. And even if they drop in coverage, they're not going to allow you to throw the ball down the field. And this is where the decision-making of Matt Cassel really does come into play. You take what the defense is going to give you. You may have to concede here and go ahead and punt. That wouldn't be a bad thing. Certainly better than turning the football over.
Buckley is out. And they got Parker in there along with Abiamiri now, who's on that tackle position. 3rd and 25. They need the 44. Here comes Parker. Down goes Cassel. Back at the 8-yard line. A loss of 10, and Kansas City's got a punt on their first possession.
And other than a turnover, this is maybe the second worst thing to happen, to lose even more yards getting sacked deep inside your own territory. And watch the pressure coming in from the blind side, and then they're finally able to get Cassel on the ground. Again, he felt the pressure, but you could see they pinched the pocket from both ends. There was nowhere for Cassel to go.
Colquitt to punt. He had a good week last week against the Oakland Raiders. Deep back is Deshaun Jackson, one of the best in the NFL. 47-yard line, he gets it. You think the Eagles are going to show a lot on offense today?
I think with Donovan McNabb out, I think this is a time for them to test some of those creative plays that they've been working on through the OTAs and training camp.
Chiefs in the nickel. Leggett is the 5th defensive back. You see the assortment of receivers for Cobb on 1st and 10. Knocked away. They had the blitz, and that nickel back Leggett was flying in there on the face of Cobb. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Cobb today taking the place of Donovan McNabb, coming off statistically a terrific year back in 08. But he's got the broken rib from week 1 against Carolina.
Yeah, he's going to have a little bit more time to rest up. But with him out, think about it. You don't have to worry about disrupting the timing of the base offense. And so now it gives you free reign as a play caller for Marty Morningwig, the offense coordinator, and head coach Andy Reid to really sample a lot of these plays going into the bye week.
It is 2nd down and 10. Blocked by Justice, blocked by Weaver, and that's caught. Jeremy Maclin, the rookie out of Missouri. Hit over there by Flowers, whacked by Corey Mays. He picks up 4 yards to the 43.
Cobb that time was very poised and patient, very little pressure. Look at the protection as he's throwing off his back foot there and throwing away, but he's still able to find Maclin right in the crease of the defense.
Coach Andy Reid has had his eye on Cobb for a long time, not just in the fact that he drafted him.
Yeah, you know, he was watching him in college and decided that, you know, hey, this kid can play, and sort of tracked his career at the University of Houston, where he said he ran just about every style of offense.
Nickel secondary, 3rd and 6, and Cobb. That's caught by Jason Avant, fumbles the ball out of bounds at the 31. He was tackled by Jared Page. Enough yards for the 1st down, and on the play, give him 10. They'll move the chains.
Ball security is at a premium today. We did have rain through the night. The ground's a little moist, but if you're Jason Avant, as we watched the throw from Cobb under pressure, you got to hold on to this ball. Jared Page able to get it out. Ball rolls out of bounds. We always talk about turnovers being the great equalizer. As the Eagles come into this game highly favored, turnovers would be the one thing to spoil the day.
Tank Tyler comes back in as the nose guard. You see Vick is back in too.
Here we go.
The quarterback, buckle up from the 34, 1st and 10. Macklin is in motion. Vick. Good block by Selleck. He was the tight end. The tackle was made by Flowers. He's down to the 27, picks up 7 yards in the. Cobb is a receiver, the quarterback at the bottom of your screen. It's a direct snap, and it goes to LeSean McCoy. Will run up the middle, hit by Tyler, whacked by Page. On 2nd down and 3, he picks up 8. He's down to the 19, another 1st down.
The direct snap to LeSean McCoy, and it's a read option play. That's the element you want to watch. Watch the fake handoff here, and that's where he's going to read it, but then he'll take it up the middle. And so that's the deal. Here's the fake handoff. It's a read option, comes underneath the pulling guard and taking it right up. It's a zero gut right up the middle through that defense. 1st and 10, and it's LeSean McCoy again. Oh, and he runs outside. The rookie from Pitt stiff arms his way into Brown, out of bounds at the 5. An exciting player with a 14-yard pickup. McCoy, who played 2 years at Pitt but scored 36 touchdowns for Dave Wannstedt, makes it 1st and goal. He's just another addition in terms of the speed and a weapon on this offense in place of Brian Westbrook out of today's game. So with McCoy coming in and guys like Macklin, they give you a lot of speed and elusive ability to make tacklers miss in the open field, but also you can get very creative just to get the ball in their hands. Michael Vick is coming. You take a look at McCoy, who's had runs of 14 and 8 yards on this drive. They got a 10-yard pass to Avant. The Eagles just called a timeout. They've taken out the quarterback Cobb. They have brought in Michael Vick. They've also brought in another offensive lineman, Stacey Andrews. 1st and goal at the 5. 7th play of the drive. LeSean McCoy's been terrific on it, which began back at the Kansas City 48. You see the full house. Look at this. McCoy is next to Vick. The extra lineman is Andrews on the right side. Michael Vick. Here comes Glenn Dorsey. That's incomplete. And they're looking on the near side for Weaver. The coverage by Brandon Carr. 2nd down and goal. And Vick took a lick. the defenders teed off on him. Got to make a little bit faster read here, faster decision. See, Dorsey's up on him right away. Then he takes a hit. He was able to get that ball out of bounds, but boy, got a little bit of dirt on the jersey. Chiefs are sticking with 4 defensive backs. Dorsey and Tyler, and the 1st-round pick out of LSU, Tyson Jackson on their defensive line. Cobb is back in, 2nd and goal at the 5. Cobb is a receiver, bottom of your screen. McCoy is back there to get the snap. Andrews with the block. And he corkscrews in for the touchdown. Wow, what a play is right. Ali got a hand on him, but why not? McCoy, he authored a great drive with some good runs. He has a 5-yard touchdown run there. And what he gives you is the ability and the elusiveness to make defenders miss. He's not an easy tackle, and watch where they make contact with him right there about the 3-yard line, but he's able to turn and spin and come off Tamba Hali and still power it into the end zone. Has to be pleasing for the head coach, Andy Reid. And McCoy grew up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the same high school that former Eagle Ricky Waters played at. He grew up an Eagle and a Steeler fan. He's thrilled to be here in Philadelphia. Here's the extra point now by David Akers, the 11-year veteran. We should be keeping track, Solomon, of the many different offensive looks the Eagles give us today. You're going to get a lot of them. And Andy Reid, what did he tell us when we met with him? He said, hey, it's fun. He said, with all the weapons we have on this offense, this provides us an opportunity to get the ball into their hands. And boy, is he taking advantage of it. A look at Andy Reid, who was an assistant with the Green Bay Packers. And before he went to Green Bay back in the early part of the 90s, he was at the University of Missouri as an offensive line coach, as David Akers has the ball teed up. Dantrell Savage is deep back for the Kansas City Chiefs. Both he and Charles are up today. Again, Bo is out with the hamstring injury. And the 3-time Pro Bowler Akers. Savage out of Oklahoma State from the 3. Good block by Belcher. Tackle made by Hansen. Joselio Hansen makes it at the 32, a 30-yard return. All those guys were provided a road to work their way back into the NFL, given a second chance, if you will. It's 1st and 10. Cox is the fullback. Good block by Larry Johnson. Here comes Matt Castle running for his life and out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. The player from Los Angeles.
And he picks up on the play a yard and belted on the near side with all kinds of defensive pressure. So it'll be 2nd down and 9. So look at Michael Vick. We talked about it in our open. Just the rust has got to be dusted off this player who has been suspended the first 2 weeks, but he's been practicing with the team for the last couple weeks too.
But 1,001 days since he last played in a meaningful game in the National Football League, and he told us only 80% in terms of his physical conditioning. It's going to take some while to get back.
Trevor Law is on that defensive line right now for Philly. 2nd down and 9 out of the reach of Wade. Boy, there was a lot of pressure, and it came from the middle linebacker Gaither. He was all over the quarterback Castle, so it'll be 3rd down and a long 9.
Well, it's all about pressure for the Philadelphia Eagles, and if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm dialing up 3-step drops, getting the ball out much quicker because there's going to be a lot of pressure on Castle. The receivers have to get themselves in better position to catch the ball. Look at that, -5 yards total offense for the Chiefs so far.
Hanson becomes the nickel for Philadelphia. 3rd down and a long 9, short 10. Cox back there to help protect. That's caught by Bradley. The leaping grab at the 38. Hit on the play by Sheldon Brown. He's a good one, and a gain of 6 on 3rd and about 10. They got to punt the ball 3 and out again for the Kansas City Chiefs.
And there you saw it, the 3-step drop from Castle, getting the ball out quick, able to make the completion. Not enough for the 1st down, but I think they've got to come out throwing early on the possession because they're getting single coverage on the outside from the cornerbacks for Philadelphia.
Colquitt to punt once again, and the #1 punt returner in the NFL, Deshaun Jackson, is back. Gafford, who had some high snaps in pregame, sends that back to Colquitt. He sends it to the 27-yard line. It's 1st down and 10. The Chiefs just punted for a 2nd consecutive time. 27-yard line. Cobb outside for Jackson. Rushed out of bounds by Flowers. On the play, a gain of about 9 to 10 yards, and they're going to spot him at the 37-yard line.
See, with Brian Westbrook out of the game, if Vick comes in and they're going to run Wildcat, probably going to be a run play. But in the base offensive package with Kevin Cobb in, Brian Westbrook out, most likely they're going to throw the football, and I think the Chiefs have to be dialed into that.
1st and 10, Chiefs in a nickel. McCoy with the block. Nice catch by Jackson. Uh-oh, look out here. He had a 70-plus-yard touchdown reception last week. He's inside the 20. He's brought down by the veteran Mike Brown. That's a catch and run of 43 yards and a 1st down for Philadelphia.
And we told you in the open that the Chiefs' pass defense was vulnerable over the middle, and this is where Deshaun Jackson decides to work. It's a direct snap over to Kevin Cobb, then the throw to Deshaun Jackson. He is awesome when it comes to creating yards after the catch, and so they're going to work the middle of the field against this Chiefs defense. Anytime Cobb is in the game and you have the base package, you're going to get the Philadelphia Eagles throwing the ball. And right now, Mike Vick is in.
Vick is in. 2 down linemen for the Chiefs. 1st down and 10, 19-yard line, and this is McCoy. Breaks the tackle, was upended by Brown. He's about the 10-9-yard line. Picks up 11 yards right there. McCoy has been the star, taking the place, as you mentioned before, of the injured Brian Westbrook.
And anytime Vick comes in and they're running what we call the Wildcat offensive system, he's going to hand the ball off. Remember, he hasn't worked much in the base offensive package, so they're going to come in and they're going to hand it off. And we've seen him only throw it once from that Wildcat package.
Cobb is back in. Chiefs have gone back now with Tank Tyler at the nose guard, flanked by Jackson and Dorsey. 1st and goal at the 9. 4 in the Kansas City secondary. The block by Max Gene Gillis. Selleck, the tight end, at the 2. Hit by Demario Williams, the ex-starter with Atlanta, gain of 8. Nudging closer inside. Wow. Good throw by Cobb.
And Selleck is a little bit groggy. He's slow to get back to the huddle. And boy, did he take a lick. He pays for this one. Listen up.
Williams got him inside. Selleck is one of the top receiving tight ends so far this season in the NFL. So now it's 2nd down and goal at the 1. Cobb is in. Weaver has come in as the fullback. McCoy tries to sneak in, where they push the pile with the center Jamal Williams. Those 2 guards in there. Cole along with Max Gene Gillis. Looks to be a bit shy. You see Belcher, number 59 there, a player they really like, undrafted out of Maine, getting up off the pile. And looks to be a little bit shy as you take a look at Andy Reid.
How about that? The Chiefs have yet to stop a team once they've entered the red zone. They've allowed a touchdown on 6 possessions every single time they've been able to score a touchdown the opposition has. And Todd Haley right now has to really be concerned, because you give him another touchdown here, it's going to make it really difficult for Matt Castle.
3rd and goal at the 1. Cobb tries to take it himself. Did he leap in? And the escort. No sign yet. Touchdown. 2nd consecutive score by the Philadelphia Eagles. 1-yard touchdown leap in there by Kevin Cobb. That's his first rushing touchdown.
It's just man and muscle down on the goal line, and Cobb is the recipient of the offensive line getting excellent movement up front to get it across the goal line for a touchdown.
The big play there was a 43-yard catch and run by the electrifying Deshaun Jackson. And now the extra point. So no McNabb, no Westbrook, no problem. David Akers, hold from Rocca. Snap from Dornbos. 14-0 Philadelphia. I think the Eagles smell blood.
Yeah, and you know, the Eagle has landed big time. Kevin Cobb here in the first quarter, 3 for 3, 61 yards throwing the football. The key is though, with a 14-point lead, it really does take Larry Johnson out of the game. And now they're going to come after your quarterback, Matt Castle.
Savage to get it at the 1-yard line, taking the place. Charles, nice little move right there. Then he was doused at the 20-yard line. Johnson and Cox in the backfield. With Dwayne Bodega, as we mentioned a couple times, with the hamstring injury. Larry Johnson looking for a block from Goff. He was brought down by Akeem Jordan after a meager gain of a yard to the 21. 2nd down and 9. And Larry Johnson has no room to run right there. And coming through was Gaither and a loss of 4 on the play. That's back to the 17-yard line.
An aggressive defense will blitz the run. You shoot the gaps, get penetration, and you're on top of the runner before he can hit the line of scrimmage. Exactly what happened from Gaither, the middle linebacker for the Eagles.
Clemens, Parker, Abiamiri, and Darren Howard on the defensive line for Philadelphia. You see the assortment of receivers. Both tight ends are wide. 3rd and 13. They need the 30. Charles at the side of Castle. Coming again with the blitz. Hit once by Brown. Hit again by Michael. Gain of 2. Hilton Michael with the tackle. 3 and out for the Chiefs. They get as far as the 19-yard line. End of 1. A 5-yard touchdown run by rookie LaShawn McCoy, and a 1-yard touchdown quarterback keeper by Cobb. 14-zip at the end of 1. Chiefs now punting for the 3rd consecutive time. Deep back is Deshaun Jackson. Colquitt lets it fly. Jackson has already had an 85-yard punt return for a touchdown this year. Hang time of 4.4. Here comes Jackson again. Flags all over the place. Ozzie High steps it down the far side. This is an exciting kid, a 2nd-round pick last year out of Cal.
Comes in leading the NFL in yards per punt return. Boy, is he electric when he gets the ball in his hands.
There's our referee today, John
During the
Perry.
return, illegal block in the back. Number 53 of the return team. 10 yards, 1st and 10, Philadelphia. Timeout on the field.
18-yard return by Jackson, wiped out because of the penalty. Eagles had 4 special teams penalties against New Orleans last week. Cobb is in there, 1st down and 10 from the 30. Blocked by Peters. Kevin Cobb, so good stick right there by Corey Mays, the expatriate and Cincinnati Bengal, to the 30-yard line, gain of a yard.
Mays continued to introduce himself to Brett Selleck. Another hit on Selleck.
Chiefs have made a couple substitutions on their defensive line. Gilberry now playing the left defensive end. Ron Edwards, the ex-Buffalo Bill, playing the nose guard. 2nd down and 9. McCoy at the side of Cobb. LaShawn McCoy. Vrabel closed off the outside there. And then it's Gilberry inside. He knocks down not only the official, but McCoy at the 32 on a gain of a yard.
But you see the quickness by the 2nd-round draft pick, LaShawn McCoy. He does give them, I think, another dimension, another element in the backfield. And even without Westbrook today, you know this is a kid that can rack up some huge numbers.
Had some fumbling issues, though. That was a little bit of a concern coming out of college, and then the pros are trying to correct that.
Yeah, I think young running backs who come into this league not used to a lot of guys grasping at the ball from a lot of different angles, and it is a learning curve.
3rd and 7, Chiefs in the nickel. You see the assortment of receivers. Tight end Selleck is out there as well. McCoy at the side. There's a block by Peters. That's back by Selleck. Hit by John McGraw. First down pass to the 48. 14-yard gain on 3rd and 7. Another first down.
How about LeSean McCoy? You talk about him being a good runner and maybe have to protect the football. He was able to pick up the blitzer, watching the backfield, picking up Mike Brown, the safety coming in on the blitz. That allows the quarterback, Kevin Kolb. There you see the block. Allows Kevin Kolb to get the ball over to Selleck. So we're already seeing the young running back paying off huge without having the ball in his hand.
1st and 10 for Kevin Kolb. 4 in the secondary. Looking on the far side for Selleck, and the coverage on the play by Brandon Carr. Somebody lost a shoe. 2nd down and 10. Yep, there it is. And it was Mike Brown, or rather it was Brandon Carr. Brandon Carr is the one who lost it. Carr is a second-year player out of Grand Valley State, 5th-round pick. And Carr, who started all of last season. They like this kid.
Yeah, we said that the Chiefs, they've got to make plays on special teams. They've got to make plays on defense. They need to stop. They need to get some turnovers and get good field position for an offense who hasn't been able to move the ball.
2nd and 10 against 4 in the secondary. Kolb again. Oh, and that was picked off on the play. This time, no, he let it drop. It was trapped against the ground right on cue. Brandon Carr coming up with what looked like to be an interception. That's an incomplete pass. But he was in the place.
Yeah, he's listening up.
Yes,
they've got to be able to make plays like this. He's got to be able to make the catch. Had an opportunity. See, he's got to catch that ball. And we had one drop last week by Brandon Flowers that could have gone for a touchdown. The Chiefs need big plays on defense in order to not only stay in the game, but to possibly win it.
3rd down and 10. There is a nickel out there for the Chiefs. Leggett is on the field. Beisel has come in as the nickel linebacker. See the 4 spread by Kolb. Cole with a nice looking block. Underneath, McCoy makes a miss. Gilberry makes another stop. He'll be close to a first down, but shies to the 44. So it is 4th down and about a yard to go. They're going to go for it. On the line, they have brought in Jackson, who takes the place of Gilberry. Avant is now the wingback. Kolb stays in there, 4th and 1. Good block by Justice. Knocked down nicely on the play. Mike Vrabel was right there. Vrabel had a deflected pass back in preseason against Seattle that was returned for a touchdown by a defensive back. Vrabel played it well on down.
You can see they're wearing JJ on the back of their helmets, but you know, Andy Reid talked about it. So many of those defensive coordinators has forced offenses to play back on their heels.
On 1st and 10, they go to Brad Cottam, who is out of Tennessee, and he is upended on the play after an 11-yard pickup by Chris Clemens, and the ball is to the 45. Best position for the Chiefs. Now they're going to go into the nickel, drill the Eagles. They bring in Parker. And some changes on that line. Dixon is now on the line. The rookie Parker is out there. And they've also got Trevor Lawrence, second-year player out of Notre Dame for Philadelphia. First play the Chiefs have been in Eagle territory today. It's Charles, blocked by Waters. Jamal Charles out of the University of Texas. A flag is down. It's a gain of 15. It's a hold.
Holding. Number 76. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
Chiefs consistently shot themselves last week with penalties just like that. Albert is called there.
Yeah, let's take a look at him. And there you see it right there. And a little holding right there. It's just right there. It was a little late. I thought the run had already secured his way through the hole. But, boy, costly penalties continue to plague the Kansas City Chiefs. Cost them last week when they had productive, positive plays, and you can see it taking away another good gain there for Todd Haley's offense.
Jackie Battle will be out there for Todd Haley in the slot. 1st and 20. 3 penalties on the Chiefs on their offense so far. Abiamiri is back on the defensive line. Johnson with the Waters lead. And a tackle made in the play by Abiamiri. He's been battling a groin. Gain of 3 to the 48.
You know, we were talking about Jim Johnson and what he meant to this defense. You mentioned that Todd Haley said that he was the heart of the defense, and Brian Dawkins was the soul of the defense. And now Sean McDermott, a young defensive coordinator, trying to pick up the reins. And boy, they got after the Carolina Panthers week 1. We talked about it, 5 sacks, 5 interceptions, but didn't fare so well last week against Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints offense.
Second down and 17. Charles in the backfield. 4 in the secondary. Bradley wants to throw and dives. And was it trapped or caught? That's Jamal Charles. Up, he gets by Dixon. He's hit by Akeem Jordan and takes it all the way down to the 26-yard line. A 27-yard pickup on the throw by Mark Bradley.
And watch Bradley. Now the swarming defense is right on top of him. Have to throw it off his back foot, but it is that swarming attacking defense that allows Charles to get so wide open. They clearly left him.
And they blow that play dead as they were unraveling. Timeout taken by Philadelphia. Jackie Battle is in the backfield with Cox. And Dupway with the block. That's caught. And the tight end Ryan, who was coached down in Dallas by Haley at one time in his career, picks it up. And it's a gain of 11 yards on the play, and he's brought down on the wing by Gokong, the linebacker.
And better protection that time by the offensive line for Kansas City, giving plenty of time for Castle to find his tight end in man-to-man coverage against Gokong. And if you get man-to-man coverage, I believe if the protection holds up, Matt Castle have to make some plays throwing the ball.
It is 1st and 10. This is Larry Johnson going around the Ryan block as he swerves for a couple. Give him 2. He's down to the 12, and a couple defenders got a hand on him in there for the Philadelphia Eagles.
And quietly, Todd Haley's group making some move on this offensive possession. Had gone 3 and out on the previous 3 and was facing 3rd and long on all of those possessions. But now they've got more and greater continuity in terms of their movement.
Bradley is in right now. They got 2 tight ends. Johnson in the backfield, 2nd down and 8. And they go to the end zone looking for Bradley. He's got the ball. That's a touchdown as he beats on the side Ellis Hobbs. 13-yard touchdown pass. What a beautiful touch put on that ball by quarterback Matt Castle.
And you get man-to-man coverage to the outside. It, I think, poses an excellent opportunity. Throw it up to the back pylon and watch Bradley go up and come down with the ball over Ellis Hobbs. It's just an excellent play between the quarterback and wide receiver. And if you don't go up and fight for the ball, you're not going to come down with it. Bradley was able to do that.
So Bradley, whose dad, Danny Bradley, was a former quarterback at Oklahoma, catches the nice pass from Matt Castle, his 2nd touchdown pass this year. Here's the extra point now with Suckup. And with 8.5 minutes to play here in the first half. Matt Castle has faced Ellis Hobbs in New England Patriot practices, so he knew what he was dealing with on the wing there.
Both players spent the last 4 years as teammates in New England, and you got to know that Castle felt like he could take a shot at Ellis Hobbs and get the touchdown, and it paid off.
Here's Ellis Hobbs back there. He had a 63-yard return last week. He also fumbled the ball against New Orleans. And Suckup will drill it a couple yards deep, and here comes Ellis Hobbs. Buckley with the block on Washington. McCraw was there along with DeJuan Morgan making the stop. Nice little return, 32 yards. And there's a flag on the field. Maybe offsides on the kickoff. Let's see.
Offside on the kicking team. Number 25. That penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. 1st and 10.
Chiefs have the nickel out there. Peters with the block at the left tackle. That's caught by Deshaun Jackson. And there he goes. In for 6.
Wow.
This kid is one of the best in the NFL already in just his 2nd year. A 64-yard touchdown pass. He caught one last week for 71 yards against New Orleans.
They say speed kills, and after you miss the initial tackle, Gerard Page, the last standing free safety, doesn't stand a chance against the speed and quickness of Deshaun Jackson.
And he is quick. Here is Akers to put up another try. So on a day that was focused on the return of Michael Vick, it's been others who have taken the spotlight. As Akers will get it teed up. And Dantrell Savage is deep back for the Kansas City Chiefs. We're expecting another rain shower here in Philadelphia. We had rain last night. It was misting this morning. The sun broke out. Now we've got clouds over It's a beautiful stadium here in downtown Philly from the 11-yard line with a block from Battle. And a run outside. King Jordan right there. King Jordan is all over the field. He starts as a linebacker, makes a special teams tackle right there. 17-yard return.
3-step drop. It's in the slant right here, coming here, and watch. Page is the last guy. Not going to be able to make the tackle. And so anytime you just run that slant route, see quick stab, 3-step, and then one guy to beat. With that much speed and that much space to work with, those are the concerns and problems that really Todd Haley had talked to us about last night. He said they create some spatial problems. His fourth 100-yard game. And just one quick touch, and he's in the end zone.
4 defensive backs. It's 1st and 10 for the Chiefs. Larry Johnson is in the slot as a receiver atop your screen. Matt Castle with your touchdown pass last time out there. It's Ryan, and he's hit by Quentin Michael. Getting to the 29-yard line. He picks up 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, you got to be patient if you are the Kansas City Chiefs. Be patient. Continue to attack the defense. I think whenever the protection is held up for Castle, he's been able to find some receivers on the back end, particularly when he's getting man-to-man coverage out on the perimeter of the defense.
Bradley, Charles, Ingram, Ryan is in motion. Top your screen wave. All those receivers out there. 2nd down and 8. They got the nickel in. Hanson has come back in the secondary, and there is a flag.
Ball start. Number 54. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It's on Brian Waters, who had some interesting words for Todd Haley at practice on Friday in Kansas City.
Yeah, Todd Haley was going to let him take the pads off of practice for the first time, and Brian Waters said, hey, no, we need to keep them on. Said, hey, we've been playing well. They feel like as a team they were getting really close. So the veteran said, I couldn't believe I was saying it, but he wanted to keep the pads on for that Friday practice.
Patterson and Bunkley are the 2 defensive tackles. Parker, along with Cole, the defensive end, 2nd down and 13. They need the 37. Charles at the side of Castle. Albert trying to throw a block, as does Copper on the near side. The tackle made by Macho Harris. He's a rookie from Virginia Tech. The gain to the 31-yard line. He picks up 6 on the play.
Good tackle by Macho Harris coming up from the secondary. Watch him come up, and he's unblocked. Got to be able to get him on the ground. Tackling was a huge problem last week against the New Orleans Saints, but they gave up over 400 yards total offense to the Saints.
3rd and 6. Charles at the side of Castle. Into the nickel. Blocked by Ryan. Pressure up the middle. Incomplete. Boy, they were bringing everybody right there. There is a flag thrown. They had Parker coming up the middle and Macho Harris, and another linebacker was in there, Tracy White, the ex-Green Bay Packer, and the flag at 6:35 here of the second.
Holding, number 64. That penalty's been declined. Results of the play, 4th down.
Niswonger picked up a penalty last week against the Raiders. 3 and out for the Chiefs.
Pressure up the middle and off the corners. The pocket just disintegrates right in front of Matt Castle. Forced to throw the ball, throwing off his back foot well before he wanted to.
Jeremy Maclin will be deep back for this Colquitt punt. His dad, Greg Colquitt, of course, Pennsylvanians know that. With him punting with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Maclin is back at about the 16-yard line. And then head over heels. Studebaker was down there, the ex-Eagle training camp invitee, along with Battle. It's an 8-yard return after a 53-yard punt, and there's a flag down at the 33 at the other end of the field. Boy, John Perry has had a workout. His dad was an NFL official during the 80s and worked 2 of the most memorable playoff games in NFL history. That Fog Bowl between the Bears and Eagles. You may recall that in the Chargers-Bengals Ice Bowl back when it was 59 degrees below zero. And by the way, we have Art McNally, who's in the building too here, the one-time supervisor of NFL officials. John Perry is a rising star, but it's in his bloodlines. His dad was a good one too back in the 80s for the league. You talk about good bloodlines. This guy's got some pretty good bloodlines himself.
His dad, Dick Haley, is a longtime scout for the Pittsburgh Steelers and drafted a lot of Hall of Famers.
Todd Haley, and just had Colquitt punt.
Offside, number 34 of the receiving team. Kansas City is elected. 5-yard penalty and a re-kick, replay, 4th down.
Look at that. And you're talking about some guys who have grown up around football and thriving at this level.
Colquitt again. Maclin is back, waving for the fair catch, and fair caught at the 25.
But certainly you have to have some patience. He told us it's a process, but he feels like he's getting close. Well, you look at this score today, that you knew the Eagles were going to come out and try to go right at this football team, and boy, have they.
Belcher is an inside linebacker taking the place of Corey Mays. And here is the handoff on 1st and 10 with the nice defensive play by the aforementioned Belcher. It's on McCoy. It's a gain of a yard. McCoy has had a nice game already in this contest. He's got a touchdown run. Here comes Vick. There was a gain of 1 to the 26.
And I stand corrected. I said the Eagles had scored touchdowns on their last 3 possessions. It sure seems like it, but
yeah,
they have scored on 3 of their last 5 possessions, and you're going to get a chance to see Mike Vick run the Wildcat system right now.
Edwards playing the nose tackle for Kansas City. You see the allotment of receivers. Mike Vick is in 2nd down and 9. McCoy at his side. Westbrook not playing today because of a bad ankle. Oh, nice play by Hali. Incomplete, looking for Avant. Tamba Hali just shut that play down. I think Vick wanted to roll a little bit.
And he told us that he was just excited and elated to get back on the field today, and said he didn't want to do anything to screw up the limited opportunities he would have in this game today.
Cobb is back in 3rd and 9. Nickel secondary for the Chiefs. Next team goes with the block. Selleck again. Hit by Hali. That's a 1st down. Catch and run to the 40-yard line. Picks up 13 on 3rd and 9. He's got 5 receptions, does this terrific looking tight end, Selleck.
Yeah, Selleck is really good, but boy, Kevin Cobb has done a good job of finding his tight end, and you heard the lick delivered by Tamba Hali. Selleck has taken several of those shots. Every time we roll in a play where a hard lick is laid on a Philadelphia Eagle player, has been Brett Selleck on the other end of it.
Tank Tyler back in now at the nose guard for the Chiefs. It is 1st and 10 from the 39. Cobb is in. Weaver's back there with McCoy. Into a 4-man secondary. Outside it goes, and this is caught by Reggie Brown, who's tackled by Mike Vrabel. It's a gain of 4 on the play. Reggie Brown playing for the first time this season. He's been inactive the last 2 games for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, and he needs to be productive. And here's a guy that has really descended down the depth chart with so many of the young receivers playing very well. We talked about Deshaun Jackson. You could see the 5th-year player Reggie Brown was once highly thought of in the rotation of receivers here in Philadelphia. But Jeremy Maclin and other guys have taken that spot.
Maclin at the top of your screen on 2nd down and 6. Here is McCoy. Looked like Vrabel got another hand on him as well, up to about the 44 on a gain of 2.
Well, McCoy has chipped in rather nicely. He already showed you some of the runs. Already have a touchdown run in this game, but really good in pass protection as well. And I think if he's going to be the guy to replace Westbrook, he really is going to have to step up that part of his game.
Sometimes, you know, Solomon, you wonder if doing all this trickery, all this Wildcat stuff pulls away from the basics of this Philadelphia offense.
But Andy Reid said it. Hey, not only is it fun, it allows them to really put the defense back on their heels. He said we have to start dictating to the defense as opposed to them dictating to us.
Chiefs in the nickel. Donald Washington is the 5th defensive back. 3rd down, long 4, blocked by Peters, and here comes Vrabel, and down he goes. Sacked, and a flag is thrown back in the secondary. Sack at the 40. It's a loss right now on the play of about 2 yards. We'll see what this flag is all about as you take a look at the multiple Pro Bowler Mike Vrabel.
And Vrabel is hot and upset that this sack is going to be null and void because of the penalty.
Mike Vrabel, who played at Ohio State, traded with Castle in the offseason from New England.
Personal foul, face mask, number 20 of the defense. 15 yards from the previous spot. 1st and 10, Kansas City.
That's a rookie, Donald Washington, out of Ohio State.
Well, we've seen penalties last week on the defense that really negated some positive plays that they were making, and ultimately I think some of those penalties cost them the game last week against the Raiders, and here it wipes away a magnificent play made by Mike Vrabel.
Vick is in. Chiefs go back to 4 in the secondary, and Belcher continues to take the place of Corey Mays at that inside backer position. It is 1st and 10. Weaver's a wingback, and you see the assortment of receivers. Maclin in motion. Maclin gets the call. Great block by Weaver, the fullback, and then outside they had Belcher and Page, who knocked that play back for a yard loss, back to the 41-yard line.
A direct snap to Mike Vick, and they hand it over to Maclin on the sweep. This is just another one of those plays you get out of the Wildcat, and it's well defended. Containing the football is Jarrett Page, not allowing the ball to get to the outside. So as you can see what they've done in the base offense, 23 plays over 200 yards and 8 Wildcat plays for only 23 yards.
2nd down and 10. Starters on there on the defensive line for the Chiefs. No changes in the secondary. 2nd and 10. Cobb back in. McCoy and Weaver in the backfield. Selleck, 6th reception. Oh, did he get it? He was dragging Demario Williams. He's shy by about a yard. He's to the 31. He picks up 9. This kid is terrific to watch. He came in today tied as the #1 receiving tight end with Chris Cooley.
I think when you're a young quarterback, the tight end gives you easy completions because you're working the middle of the field. And he has continued to find Brett Selleck for those easy completions as Kevin Cobb.
Well, on this drive alone, he's caught passes for 13 right there and 9 before.
And look at the work put in by Brett Selleck fighting to get to that first down marker. But if you're a young quarterback, you got to learn to check it down to the running backs or use the tight ends over the middle of the field.
All right, McCoy now will get the direct snap. Quarterback atop your screen. Brown in motion. Chiefs read it well. Belcher. Boy, they love this kid. Down to the 29-yard line and a pickup of 3.
Belcher just slammed the door shut. There was a hole there, but he stepped up in it and really turned back LeSean McCoy, who thought he was going to get positive yards.
2-minute warning in Philadelphia, the home of Donovan McNabb, not playing today. He hasn't made a 16-game season full through in 5 years for this team. He's always injured.
But he's always been able to overcome and help this team down the stretch.
Cobb got it, 2nd down and 5. Sets up the screen. This is the fullback, Weaver. Williams has a beat on him. Demario Williams makes the tackle at the 15-yard line. Picks up 9. That's another first down for the Eagles. Well, they got another quarterback active today, too. That's the ex-Eagle, now the current Eagle, Jeff Garcia.
Andy Reid said, hey, he's doing me a favor. Week 2, and Mike Vick still under suspension, and Donovan McNabb out with that rib injury. Only Kevin Cobb was eligible to play. He said, hey, I needed another guy. I needed another quarterback for week 2. He said, Jeff Garcia is doing me a favor. But now you look around, you got Garcia, you got Vick, and you got McNabb and Cobb. 3 of the 4 have been to Pro Bowls.
Washington has come in as the nickel. It is a 1st and 10. Cobb with McCoy at his side. Good block by Jackson, the center. 11-yard line. That's a catch. The hit was on Avant by Flowers. Mark him at the 11-yard line with a gain of about 4.
What did Andy Reid tell us? He said, I look around at practice. I see all these quarterbacks. He said, I think I'm in Honolulu.
well, let me ask you something.
Pleased with his quarterback.
That's a lot of active. That's a lot of guys. They take valuable roster spots. It might affect depth in other areas.
Yeah, but they have injuries in those areas. And then you have another quarterback in Michael Vick who's not quite ready to handle the entire package that this offense gives you.
Still the nickel. 2nd down and 6. Peters with a good-looking block at the left tackle. Incomplete. Jackson was guarded by Flowers. They had Macklin, who was picked up by a linebacker, Williams. It'll be 3rd and 6. Macklin was some kind of player at Missouri.
Yeah, and he took a shot from Mike Brown right to the back. He's going to wobble off. Cobb fires this one just behind him, and there you see that lick right to the upper back from Mike Brown.
And off to the left they had, who you didn't see in that picture right there, was Jackson coming in the back of the end zone underneath the crossbar, and there's Macklin. He's taking the place of Kevin Curtis, who's injured today.
He actually had Macklin open. He just threw it behind him. So he threw it to the open receiver. He just have to be more accurate on the pass.
Chiefs in the nickel. McCoy, the running back, atop your screen. 3rd down and 6. Jackson with another good block in the middle. It's crossed in the board. Nice coverage by the Chiefs. They were going for Avant, and they had Corey Mays. The 2 inside linebackers were there, along with Demario Williams. So the Chiefs hold him out. Looks like, yep, they're going to relegate the Eagles to a 3-point try.
Better throw from Kevin Cobb. Avant not able to make the catch. Hitting right in the hands. Maybe it was his own teammate glancing right in front of him that didn't allow clear vision on the ball, but certainly one that he should have caught.
So here is David Akers, and he'll try this field goal. He's 3 of 4 this year. All-time leader in Philadelphia scoring. 23-yard try. Hold on, we'll take that back. 29-yard try. 3 more on the board for Philadelphia.
At halftime, I think Todd Haley got to get his group together, particularly on offense. They got to be more aggressive. I think taking shots and throwing the ball on 1st and 2nd down. They're getting a lot of man-to-man coverage. We already saw Mark Bradley make a play in man-to-man coverage against Ellis Hobbs. I think there are more plays like that to be had on offense for Kansas City.
Dentrell Savage is deep back on the kickoff by Akers. The battle ahead. Here comes Savage from the 5-yard line for Kansas City. Buckley finally gets him. Got him around the ankle and brings him down after a 22-yard return. Buckley has been on practice squads last couple years.
And we said that Matt Castle's got to take more shots down the field when he gets man-to-man coverage. The problem is the protection hasn't held up with the offensive line. When you get man-to-man coverage from this Philadelphia Eagles defense, that means they are blitzing and they're coming after Castle. So three-step drop for Todd Haley's offense has to be the plays they'll dial up on this final possession, and especially going into the second half.
1st and 10, Nichols secondary. Charles in the backfield and gets the call. Goff had a block, and there goes the slippery Charles up to the 36-yard line. And is it on the play by Darren Howard, who played at Kansas State. That is a gain of 9. After the Chiefs timeout, 2nd down and 1 yard to go. Ingram is on the move, and instead of the screen pass, batted down. Looked like Howard came through, but he also had some help from Joselio Hansen and Trent Cole. They were all right in the grill of the quarterback for the Chiefs, Matt Castle.
Oh, they're blitzing him on just about every down. They overload that right side, and you had 2 guys who came free right in the face of Castle by the time he got the football.
McDermott, and you mentioned this earlier in the broadcast, they say he did not blitz enough last week against New Orleans.
Yeah, that meant you knew they were going to blitz a lot today against Kansas City.
Into the nickel, 3rd down and 1. Jamal Charles at the side of Castle. No Bo today because of the hamstring issue. Albert with a nice block. Oh, here they come. Cole has it. Howard has it. And Clemens in there dousing him, and a little talk there with Castle and Howard. He said, I'm going to be here all day, my friend. 3rd sack today given up by the offensive line. It's a loss of 9. Back to the 26-yard line.
They're just overmatched up front on the offensive line. There's no doubt. They're just closing in. And watch them pinch the pocket coming in from both sides. There's nowhere for Castle to go. You can see pressure up the middle, pressure from the backside and the front side. All he can do is just make sure that he doesn't fumble the football. We talked about it. 3-step drop. Got to get the ball out. Getting man-to-man coverage. In order to take advantage of that, the protection has to hold up.
So they're done for the first half, and Colquitt will punt. This is the 5th punt in 6 Kansas City possessions this afternoon. Macklin is back for the Eagles. '20-yard line. Here comes Gafford. Here comes Jackie Battle. Hangs on a 4.7 on the play. There's a look at Michael Vick. Ironically enough, the last time that he played was back in New Year's Eve here with Atlanta back in 2006. As you see the snaps taken in that Wildcat this afternoon so far.
10 plays out of the Wildcat formation, averaging 3.1 yards per play. Compared to last week when they ran it 12 times, they averaged 5.7 per play. And so you could see just a little bit off in terms of the overall production from last week.
How ironic for Vick. He was in prison just 35 miles away from Kansas City, and his first game back is against the Chiefs. Here we go, starting the second half. Dantrell Savage will take it out. About 4 yards deep.
They were really good. Andy Reid dialing up plays and putting up points on the scoreboard.
It's a 1st and 10 handoff to Larry Johnson. You see Bunkley in there making the stop and no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10 at the 25-yard line. Larry Johnson, he's lost weight. This whole team for Kansas City has dropped a lot of weight.
Yeah, they lost weight wanting to be a more fit football team, one with greater endurance late in games in the 4th quarter. Todd Haley said, yeah, over an 800-pound loss with this football team, but now they got to pay off and come away with a win.
It's 2nd and 10, 2 tight ends. Larry Johnson brought down on the play and no gain on it. They had Trent Cole, and if you're going to pick maybe a signature player with this team, Cole might be that player on the defensive side.
Yeah, and it starts with pressure. He's a guy that has been relentless in terms of his consistency in getting at the quarterback. Darren Howard's been good today, and they've also gotten good pressure inside from their defensive linemen, who also been getting in the face of Matt Castle. 3rd
down and 10. Charles at the side of Castle. Joselio Hansen is the 5th defensive back for the Eagles. And Charles and Duke made a nice block, as did the wide receiver Ingram, and brought down on the play by Macho Harris. A flag is down, gain of 12.
Number 60, 10-yard penalty Replay, third down.
No wonder Duke, I called him out. No wonder Ndukwe had the good block. He was holding on the play. He was acquired in the middle of preseason from the Miami Dolphins and became an instant starter.
It's become a common occurrence right now with this football team, and there it is right there, 60 red. Ndukwe, there's the hole, and that's what allows Charles to get to the corner. And so if you're going to hold him, you can get him to the second level in terms of running the football, but they will bring it back.
Cole and Parker are the defensive ends. Howard and Abiamiri are the defensive tackles. 3rd and 20. They need the 36. Charles pulling the block is Niswanger and Waters, and Cole is there again. And to the 22-yard line, the Chiefs on that gain of 7 will be well shy of the first down. 3 and out for Kansas City. 7 possessions, upcoming the 6th punt.
Very conservative play on 3rd down by Todd Haley, maybe looking to save his quarterback. Once you get into those known situations where the defense know you have to throw the football, they're going to bring everyone to hit your quarterback, maybe deciding he wants to save Matt Castle from taking a beating.
Cole quick to punt, and Deshaun Jackson is back for the Philadelphia Eagles. In time of about 4-8, you can see it rolling down to the 30-yard line, and Belcher will down it right there. Chiefs told us last night they spent about 30% of their practice this week preparing for the Wildcats.
Yeah, and less time preparing for Kevin Cobb in the base offense, which is where they've done most of their damage.
Starters in there for the Chiefs. Cobb under center, 1st and 10. Fake to McCoy. Good block by 7. Deshaun Jackson. Hit on the play by DeMario Williams. He's up to the 47-yard line. Nice pickup of 17 yards.
And tremendous protection provided by Kevin Cobb. And boy, does he do a good job of just standing in the pocket. Now watch a comfortable pocket, a window that not only step up and deliver the ball through, but boy, they keep him clean. And Jackson's real good going over the middle. We told you at the top, there's some holes on the back end in that secondary right over the middle of the field. And that's exactly where the Eagles were going to work. And that's what they're doing right now.
Vick is in. Cobb is out. 1st and 10. McCoy at the side of Vick. McCoy taken out of bounds by DeMario Williams. He works his way for 5 to the 48-yard line of the Chiefs. Cobb is in. 2nd down and 5. That's caught. Macklin right in front of Carr, near Page. 11-yard pickup. Gave to the 37-yard line.
This kid is good. He can make all the throws. I've been really impressed with what I've seen from Kevin Cobb. You can see Macklin working the sideline. This ball zips right in there on the money. Coverage over the top and coverage underneath. He slams this one into a real short window. And you see the velocity and accuracy on that throw. We were impressed on Friday. There was a nice little strong wind. We saw him complete one down the field, throwing into the wind, Kevin.
Stacey Andrews playing the right guard right now. 1st and 10 from the 37. Cobb is in. McCoy at his side. Peters the block. That's caught. Macklin stiff-arming his way into Carr. 1st down, pickup of 11 to the 26 to change. They spent a lot of money on Nate Clemens as a free agent from Buffalo a couple years ago. It paid off on that play.
Well, the defense as a whole is paying off for San Francisco right now.
1st and 10. McCoy the direct snap. Blocked by Stacey Andrews. And belted on the play. Looks like Tank Tyler also was hit by Mays. It's a gain of 4 and down to the 22-yard line.
Now, we talked to Andy Reid about this Wildcat system. He says, you know, we have to figure out how to make them play us instead of us playing them. You know, dictating to the offense. He said the defenses over the last few years have done a good job of that. Dictating to the offense. All the exotic zone blitzes. Forcing the offense to say, hey, what's going on here? We saw Rex Ryan do that to the Patriots last week in their upset win. And I think what Andy Reid wants to do is take that back. He wants to be more progressive, more offensive in nature, and force the defense to have to react to him.
Well, the media has been on this story here in Philadelphia all week. Like they've done so well on offense. Top 3 finishes statistically the last 3 consecutive years. Why are you messing with something that is working so well? That's the question they're kind of throwing out at Reid.
In the National Football League, you have to always continue to evolve. You have to always continue to grow. Andy Reid is not afraid to tinker and try new things. And I think with the collection of talent he has here on offense, and even with the addition of Mike Vick, I think this team is tailor-made to some of the creative things that Andy Reid wants to do on the offensive side of the ball.
Speaking of Vick, he's in right now. 2nd down and 6. Coy at his side. Edwards now playing the nose guard for the Chiefs. McCoy blocked by Andrews, got by Vrabel, got by Washington. And he backpedals his way to about the 20 and picks up 2 yards on the play. Well, they got a bye next week. Would they be playing this exotic-looking offense? And I guess you'd call the Wildcat in terms of that exotic. Would they play this like against a Dallas or a New York Giant? Would they experiment like this with teams like that?
I think when you come in playing against a team like Kansas City, a team that has lost 25 of their last 27 regular season games, I think that plays a role in it. I think the fact that Donovan McNabb is out, and so now you have your backup quarterback in, and you feel that you can do some things maybe a little bit differently, and then you have Westbrook out of the game as well. So I think all of those things play a role in their ability to run the Wildcat a little bit more this week.
They're in the nickel. Cobb and looking for Jackson, covered by the rookie out of Ohio State, that 5th defensive back, the 4th-round pick Donald Washington. So they got to settle for 3 again. The Chiefs force him to try for 3.
Well, at least they're taking some shots, and Cobb has been really good at getting the ball to his offensive weapons, and this is not a bad throw. You don't underthrow that and allow it to be intercepted. You throw it where either your guy could get it or no one's going to get it.
How about Macklin on that drive? Caught 2 passes with 11 yards apiece, a 17-yard pass to Jackson. This is a 38-yard field goal try by Akers. Dornbos with the long snap. And let's see, yep, got it. Field goal moments ago at 38 yards with some of the numbers attached not only to Cobb, but some other guys around the league today. Bradshaw for the Giants, a big game. Here's Jones-Drew trying to pound some things out for Jacksonville. Deshaun Jackson, 134. Well, if you're a fantasy player, these are some nice numbers to look at as we see the kickoff from Akers, and deep back will be Dantrell Savage, as he has been all day long. Nice kickoff by Akers, and he's going to leave it there in the end zone. Cobb last week against New Orleans threw for just under 400 yards in his first career start.
And eliminated the 3 interceptions from 1 week ago. He told us, he said, hey, I'm still going to come out and play aggressive. I just have to be smarter in terms of what I'm doing in each situation. I think he's continued to be aggressive in the game today. And now it's Matt Castle's turn. He threw 2 picks 1 week ago, done a better job of protecting the ball, even though he hasn't had much time to find the open receiver.
Defensive tackles Dixon and Lawrence. 1st and 10 with 2 tight ends. Larry Johnson. Not a lot there. Looked like Akeem Jordan, the linebacker, makes the stop after a yard. And looking for their first win are the Titans.
Yeah, and those old Houston Oilers uniforms. That's a throwback big time.
2nd down and 9. Cox in the backfield, the fullback, and trying to offer a block for Larry Johnson. He puts a nice one on Mike. And he was tripped up on the play by Jordan and hit on the play as well by Dixon, rambling in off that defensive line. Gain of 11 for Larry Johnson to the 32.
Nice gain and positive yards going off tackle to the right side. They said they want to make Larry Johnson run toward the sideline, east-west. He gets his shoulders turned upfield, and boy, can he be a load. It's a really good gain and no penalties on the play, so real positive right now for Kansas City. They've been accustomed to get a penalty on the first play of the possession, putting them in a hole.
1st and 10, 2 tight ends in, and Wade at the bottom of your screen. Johnson got the block from Goff on 1st and 10, brought down by Macho Harris after a gain of 5. I just mentioned Wade. They've only thrown his way once. He's not caught a pass, and he was such a big factor in the offense, so we could go against the Raiders.
Absolutely, and I think you have to be able to find production from the wide receivers. I haven't seen anything that the Eagles are doing really to try to take them away. No double coverage on Bobby Wade. And, you know, Dwayne Bowe, in his absence, Bradley made a play in the first half, but, you know, I think it's really disappointing for the Chiefs to not have Dwayne Bowe ready for this ball game.
Abiamiri and Howard are the 2 defensive ends. 2nd down and 5. Cox, the fullback, is in. Here comes the rush by Abiamiri. Outside one of those tight ends, and that was Sean Ryan. Brought down by the middle linebacker, Omar Hatham. It is a gain of 4. Close to the 1st down at the 40-yard line. They wanted Stuart Bradley in there, but he blew in the preseason.
Yeah, how about the poise, though, from Matt Castle? Because the pressure was in his face right away, and he just stood there. He was going to take it, delivered a very accurate pass to Ryan for a positive gain.
By the way, Jake O'Connell, for the Chiefs, inactive today after being a factor in the offense, or at least a main part of their offense, so we could go against the Raiders. 3rd down and 1. Savage at the side of the quarterback Castle. Hansen is the 5th defensive back. Quarterback keeper. And he's grabbed by Bunkley. What a nice move by Broderick Bunkley. A loss of a yard back to the 40-yard line. This is a former 1st-round pick, was Bunkley, number 97 out of Florida State. and the Chiefs have got to punt the ball.
This is a designed play, just a quarterback draw. See, he fakes it, he holds it, and they try to use the running back Savage as a lead blocker, but Bunkley dissected it. He didn't run up the field. He stayed in his rush lane, made the tackle on Matt Castle to get off the field on third down.
Fourth consecutive punt coming up for the Chiefs. 0 of 7 on third downs today.
It's a fake.
It is a fake, and it goes off to McGraw, who gets the first down to the 44-yard line, picks up 3 on the play, and the Chiefs will keep it alive and continue their drive. McGraw had a block punt week 1 against Baltimore for a TD.
Well, watch this one. He just takes it right off that left side, and well, they were able to trip him up, but not before he picks up a new set of downs. How about Todd Haley getting a little bit more aggressive? Don't want to give the ball back to this Eagles offense that's been so good at taking advantage of every opportunity.
First down and 10. Couple tight ends. Blocked by Pat, but that doesn't stop the defensive penetration. Gokong was there, and Hakeem Jordan was there. Lots of
everyone.
Larry Johnson is thrown back to the 42. You're right. Everyone was there.
Quentin Michael also in. Boy, they brought everyone. Did Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator for the Eagles. We talk about blitzing the quarterback. Sometimes you got to be able to blitz the run too. Get penetration in that backfield. They'll blow up the play.
Cole is back in as one of the defensive linemen, as is Abi Amiri. Starting defensive tackles in there. Second down 11. Again, the two tights. Larry Johnson off with the lead block, and that's a fumble on the play and recovered by Michael at the 47. Quentin Michael has just recovered a Larry Johnson fumble.
Welcome back, and boy, I'm telling you, this one is a tough call because I don't know if we have enough evidence to be able to overturn it. But watch number 57, Chris Gokong. That's who you want to watch. Watch him get a left hand in there. That's where the ball comes out. But was Larry Johnson's knee on the ground before the ball was dislodged? I think it's very difficult to tell. Let's take another look at it. There's the strip. He's down, ball out. It was almost like a bang bang, but you don't know if that ball was sort of dislodged prior to that thigh hitting the ground.
Well, while we were away, we had the challenge flag thrown by Todd Haley, and so that's what our referee John Perry is taking a look at right now. We are in Philadelphia, where, you know, they talk about as we take a look and they continue to see if there was a fumble by Larry Johnson. This is a very historic city outside of just American history. The NFL, in that name alone, actually began here in 1902. The Phillies baseball team and the Philadelphia Athletics baseball team joined the Pittsburgh baseball team, and rounding up players with a three-man, three-team league called the National Football League.
The play stands as called. First and 10, Philadelphia. Kansas City is charged with their first team timeout.
And I think that was the right call. And so the Chiefs lose the penalty, or lose the challenge, and lose the timeout as well.
Didn't think we saw anything that would allow the officials to overturn the call down on the field. But I could see from Todd Haley's perspective on that side of the field, I think he probably had a better view of it than we did with our cameras.
Gilberry is now in there for Dorsey from the 47-yard line. This is LaShawn McCoy. First down and 10. Looked like Tank Tyler was over there with the stop. He was on a gain of 3 to about midfield. That league I was talking about, the original National Football League with those 3 baseball teams throwing players into form 3 teams, folded in 1903, just a year later. The Eagles began in 1933, and the reason I bring this up is the Chiefs are celebrating their 50th anniversary from the old AFL. They began as the Dallas Texans, moved to Kansas City, where they have been since the early 60s. Second down and 7, and this is McCoy in the direct snap. Getting a block from Max Gene Gillis, and tackled as he works his way up the middle, and hit by Tank Tyler on a gain of 4. And Solomon, they take him to the 46-yard line of the Chiefs.
Yeah, and mistakes continue to cost the Kansas City Chiefs. Just when you think they really got it going. You know, and Todd Haley, he doesn't suffer mistakes very well. And he talked about it, the number of penalties, the number of missed opportunities last week. And now, as the offense appear to be on the move, and the fumble by Larry Johnson just really takes a lot of the wind out of their sail.
Dorsey, along with Tank Tyler, will be the defensive line. Nickel secondary with Washington. Third down and 3. Cobb is back in at that quarterback slot. Incomplete. With Macklin turning outside. Coverage on the play by Donald Washington. It sailed to the near side. It's 3 and out.
Cobb's got to be a little disappointed that time because he had his receiver open. I think Washington was beat on the play and had the receiver, just didn't put it on him. You see Marty Mornhinweg saying, what happened? He called the play and it was there to be had.
Bobby Wade is back inside the 10 for the Kansas City Chiefs, and Saf Rocca, the former Australian Rules Football League player, will boot it away. Knuckleball, Wade, fair caught, 15-yard line. 3 and out in the fumble this half for the Kansas City Chiefs. They begin here after the Rocca punt down to the 15-yard line where it is first down and 10. I have a feeling the Chiefs kind of like to model themselves after this Philadelphia ball club, the way they have built through the draft and rookie free agents.
And they've got a lot of work to do because you're right. The Eagles have done a good job of building this organization over the last 10 years.
First and 10, the pitch out to Larry Johnson. That's cut across the grain, got by Michael, and he's hit by Omar Gaither. About the 29-yard line, he picks up 14 on the play, and an 11-yard carry the last time.
What a draft class they had this year with Jeremy Maclin and LaShawn McCoy both starting today.
First down and 10. Fake to LJ, and here comes Mark Bradley with the lead block by Cox and a block across the way by Copper. He's down to the 48-yard line and falls down. Michael is over there making the stop. A 23-yard run by the Chiefs.
Very impressive play. Wide receiver reverse. It comes around Bradley, and then excellent blocking over the top. You could see Bobby Wade getting in a really nice block. Copper getting in a good block, and so no penalties down on the play, and play will stand. But they haven't had enough of these kind of plays, especially here today.
Bradley caught a 13-yard touchdown pass earlier in the game. That was good for 23. First and 10 with a Cox lead block. This is Larry Johnson. They bear hug him as he gets to about the 46. Gaither was there with the stop. Also Trent Cole. It's a gain of 2.
You know the coaching is taking place, and we spent a lot of time with Scott Pioli, the general manager for the Kansas City Chiefs, the head coach Todd Haley, and all the things that they're teaching. It's going to take some time in Kansas City. We've seen teams over the last few years turn it around rather quickly.
Well,
how about Miami going from 1-15, 11-5, but the cover was really bare upon their arrival.
2 tight ends, second and a long 7. Outside for Wade, his first catch today. Flag is thrown. Cole with the stop. 40-yard line is the gain on a pickup of 5. Wade caught 6 last week against Oakland and was a big factor. The flag will be discussed across the way. A little more history in Philadelphia. This is also the beginning of the NFL office.
Pass interference, number 89 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, replay, second down.
Sean Ryan picks that up. He's been with the Cowboys and some other teams, but Bert Bell was the first recognized commissioner of the league. Here
89 right there. There it is. See, they're saying that they were blocking while the ball was in the air. You can't do that. I think that's splitting hairs. It was really close, but the ball had yet to be caught by Bradley.
Second and 17, 8 penalties on the Chiefs, 6 on their offense. Charles at the side of Castle. Caught by the tight end Ryan. And then taken down by Jordan. Gain of 3 up to the 48.
Oh, he was one man away from breaking that one. And that's where the plays have to come from. Castle doing a better job getting the ball out. They're dialing up pass plays that allows him a 3-step drop and where he doesn't have to hold on to the ball too long. You could see over the last couple of weeks their third down conversions. They've digressed 0 for 7 today.
Cox and Charles at the side of Castle. Third down and 14. They need the 38. To Charles. Squirm free, and then Avianero along with others. Make the stop. Look like Gaither was there too. Gain of 4 with the 49.
Well, there's so much penetration by the defenders for Philadelphia. McDermott is just filling in every gap with a defender, not allowing anyone to get to the second level of the defense. Charles had to fight just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Belcher is in for Corey Mays at the inside backer. Gilberry's playing the defensive end for Jackson. Second down and 10. This is the fullback, Weaver. 3rd and 5. Cobb is in there. The nickel secondary, good block by Peters, and that is caught with Carr all over Deshaun Jackson. He's got the first down. He's up to the 33-yard line and picks up 9 on the play.
How about JV talking about the once upon a time speed?
Yeah.
it once was, but how about the speed of Deshaun Jackson? And they know how to get him the ball. And this time, the Kansas City Chiefs do a better job of corralling him. You got to tackle him and get on top of him from the time he makes the catch. But how about the little guy? You know, he was just a 14-year-old. He would go to River Falls, Wisconsin, and actually practice with this team. He had an older brother, Byron Jackson, who actually played for the Chiefs.
Vick on 1st and 10. McCoy. Redwell brought down. Leggett makes the stop after a gain of 3 to the 35. Everybody talking about Mark Sanchez, the rookie out of USC.
Hey, Mark Sanchez is for real a rising star in the Big Apple. Boy, he will be the toast of the town if he keeps this up.
Jackson back in there for Gilberry at the left defensive end for the Chiefs. 2nd down and 7. Cobb was under center. His check down takes him to Jackson at the 42. He's hit by Vrabel, and he picks up 6 on the play. Shy of a first down by about a yard.
But quietly on the move. Cobb getting better, settling down, starting to find his receivers over the middle. And you know, he comes off right now. They're going to go with a direct snap. Vick coming into the game. But yeah, this Eagles offense flawless. 0 penalties, 0 sacks allowed, and 0 turnovers. Something, you know, Andy Reid would love to keep it that way.
So Vick is in. Chiefs will line up with Mike Brown on that defensive line. He's the safety. They're going to put him down low. 4 in the secondary. 3rd down and 1. Vick is under center. McCoy. They'll stop him. Demario Williams was there. There was no gain. He got as far as the 42-yard line, and they did not get the first down. So it'll be 4th, and they will punt.
Yeah, no trickery there. Just a regular ISO play up the middle with a fullback leading. And how about that? The Kansas City Chiefs still putting up a fight. Refuse to concede, understanding they get the stop. They will get the ball back for their offense.
Rocker will punt, and deep back is Bobby Wade. He was the leading receiver for the Vikings last couple years. He was cut at the end of camp. Signed 10 days ago by the Chiefs. Rocker gets it away. Wade from the 20-yard line. And slippery as he is, he got by Clemens, and a flag is down. And hit on the play. Well, Clemens kind of knocked him, I guess, off stride, didn't he? And 18-yard return, 38-yard punt, hang time of 3.59.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 39 of the return team. 10-yard penalty. 1st and 10. Timeout.
Well, I thought it was a good call. Dixon is playing one of the defensive tackles. And also in there is Trevor Laws. Outside they got Howard, and they got Parker. Castle again, quick hitter. Bradley, he's had a good day, and Jaquay Parker, the former Jaquay Thomas, makes the stop after a gain of 5 to the 24-yard line.
Good thing Parker was able to come over and make that tackle, because he was able to make that initial defender miss. So they're trying to do anything they can to help Castle get the ball out without taking more punishment today. Quick 3-step drops. We've seen it on consecutive plays here
Castle
on this possession.
A little surprised how he moved last week, and he's thinking that left knee's completely healed. Close to it.
He even surprised himself. That's what he told us last night as to how well he was able to move in the pocket last week.
Nickel defense, 3rd down and 1. Larry Johnson at the side of Castle. And Dukeway with the block, incomplete, looking for Wade. The coverage by Sheldon Brown.
Sheldon Brown did a really good job of dissecting that play. He was able to cut in front of Bobby Wade. Watch it. And Wade's got to fight for position to get to this ball. But you could see 24. Sheldon Brown diving in to try to get the interception. It's just the defender did a better job of reading the route more so than the wide receiver in terms of getting to the point where the ball was going to arrive.
10 Kansas City possessions, 6th 3 and out. Colquitt to punt. Deshaun Jackson waving it off. Time of 4-3. And Dwan Morgan will down at about the 28-yard line for Kansas City. That defense gave up 48 points last week to Drew Brees in New Orleans. The most points at home the Eagles have allowed since 1962. against Green Bay and Vince Lombardi. 1st and 10 here is McCoy on the handoff from Cobb. And the ball is down about the 28-yard line. There is no gain on the play in the linebacking core, and they're making the stop. Gilberry was among them. And here's the upcoming schedule for the Kansas City Chiefs, the NFC East on display.
Look at that. Yeah, you got, what is that, 3 consecutive weeks against the NFC East, and 4 including today's game. And so that's murderer's row. So if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, who have lost 25 of their last 27 ball games.
Edwards playing the nose. Leggett is playing the cornerback across the way, taking the place of Carr. 2nd down. And that's caught by Selleck, hit by Brown among others, and he's got the 1st down. He's up to the 43-yard line. He picks up 15. Selleck has been a terrific addition. No Kevin Curtis today because of an injury, and so Selleck has been one of the go-to guys.
Matt Castle has to be green with envy. Look at the protection and the time that Kevin Cobb has to throw the football, and that's why he's able to come in and put up huge numbers, over 300 yards passing last week, and he's approaching that here today. And boy, he's found Selleck often. He's using the tight end. I think all young quarterbacks, it's the easier throw. You start to go outside the numbers, throwing the ball on the perimeter, much more difficult to have a high completion percentage.
Belcher taking the place of Mays at that interior position. Linebacking core, 1st and 10, outside it goes as Flowers was being hit by a Macklin complete. Jackson, Tank Tyler, and Dorsey on the defensive line. 2nd down and 3. Weaver back there with McCoy. McCoy's got a rushing touchdown today. Cobb 2. LaShawn McCoy. Huge hole in the secondary, brought down by Page. Some outstanding blocking on that 15-yard gain, and the fullback was the bulldozer, Leonard Weaver, number 43.
You know, McCoy's disappointed because he gets to the 2nd level in college. You're used to making safeties miss, but excellent tackle from Jarrett Page. Look, see, he's upset. He's hanging his head. Well, in this league, they know how to tackle. But look at that, 85 yards rushing today. This is his coming out party. Westbrook
is out with an ankle injury. No Kevin Curtis with the knee. McNabb has got the broken rib. It's down in 10. Cobb. Selleck, that will be a touchdown. A 35-yard touchdown pass on his 8th reception today for Brent Selleck.
Kevin Cobb has made a living today throwing the ball over the middle, and mostly over the middle to Brent Selleck. He fires this one in before Jarrett Page. Watch 44. You miss, you lose, you blow that tackle. It's a walk into the end zone for Brent Selleck. Boy, the Eagle has landed big time for this offense today.
Cobb had 391 yards of passing last week against New Orleans, has 327 today. Pretty good for the first 2 starts in his NFL career with an Akers extra point. Selleck gets it, 35-yard strike. And the Eagles are circling over their 2nd win of the season. Savage will retrieve this kickoff and leave it in the end zone. You love the offense of Andy Reid and what he's done. A lot of it came from his time at BYU.
That's right. Under his head coach LaVelle Edwards and Doug Schofield, who he talked about. These are the guys who provided the inspiration and the genius on offense for Andy Reid.
1st and 10, and they had about 5 guys make the stop right there, including, with no gain on the play, including Abi Amiri. And look who's warming up, Jeff Garcia.
Yeah, Jeff been known to come in and get hot and make some plays. He's a guy that, you know, he's took this team to the playoffs just a few years ago. Remember the year when Donovan McNabb went down? He goes 5 for 1 as a starter that year to take them into the playoffs. We know Mike Vick has led a team into the playoffs, so you've got a lot of experience at the quarterback position for Philadelphia.
Hobbs playing one of the corners right now on that 2nd down and 10. Larry Johnson was stopped on the play by Hobbs, and Akeem Jordan, the linebacker.
Look at that. Look at the Pro Bowls. You've got, what, 12 Pro Bowls in between McNabb, Garcia, and Vick, and look at the number of starts.
People were wondering with McNabb, who was yanked, in fact, for a half last year by Coach Andy Reid, if maybe this was a little salt in the wound by bringing in Garcia and bringing in Vick and what message that might be sending to McNabb. The media here has been on that story.
I think you've got to be prepared. What if Kevin Kolb gets injured early in this ball game? Mike Vick is not ready to handle the full package. You need someone who can come in and run the offense.
3rd and 10, direct snap to Larry Johnson, and he was brought down. It was read so beautifully by Omar Gaither. No gain. Another 3 and out, the 7th in 11 possessions by the Chiefs. As you take a look at the numbers by Cobb.
Over 300 passing on the day, the 2nd consecutive week for this young quarterback. And you know, we're going to give Kevin Kolb a lot of credit. I think you got to give Marty Mornhinweg, the offensive coordinator, and Andy Reid a lot of credit for getting their quarterbacks ready to play.
And they have been almost perfect, have the Eagles today. Colquitt to punt. Jackson was back, waves it off, hang time of only 3-5, and it gets a nice little bounce for the Chiefs down to about the 15-yard line. So we've got a lot of players coming in, and the Chiefs have made some changes too. At an outside backer taking the place of Vrabel will be Andy Studebaker, and actually he was with the Philadelphia practice squad, was Studebaker, last year. Originally a 6th-round pick, was number 96, Studebaker. You take a look at DeMario Williams and McGraw, who's now in at one of the safety positions. And there's Andy, 2 years out of Wheaton. And so the new running back, too, is in there. That is Eldra Buckley, drafted by San Diego on the practice squad last couple of years. And there's a fumble. Oh, there's a fumble, and the Chiefs have got it.
Wow.
On the bad exchange from Senator quarterback, the Chiefs have jumped on it at the 20-yard line. And with the ball, where's McGraw?
Inauspicious. Not what you want.
First mistake really today by this team.
Yeah, didn't really get it to him, and that was Jamal Jackson. And I thought that Garcia kind of, see how he pulls back before he secured the ball? Kind of just started to pull back before he actually had the ball from his center, Jamal Jackson. See the ball down on the ground. Now it's going to be kicked forward. That's where the Eagles are going to recover it.
Joe Mays is going to play as the middle linebacker right now. Tracy White is at one side of him, and Foku will be the other linebacker. That was dropped. And he was trying to hand off to Larry Johnson. And Matt Castle jumps on the ball. So loss back to the 24 for the Chiefs.
They had a room to run it. You could see he took his eye off the ball in a direct snap. He turned his head toward Larry Johnson before he actually caught the football.
Parker is on that defensive line with Dixon. Trevor Laws is out there as well. Howard is the right defensive end. 2nd down 13. Charles in the backfield. And Jamal Charles will get a call. Nice block by Brandon Albert, and that is going to be 6 for Jamal Charles, and a flag is down. It's been against Kansas City's offense all day. Will this wipe out the touchdown run by Charles?
That was a great run.
That was. He's tough to bring down.
Holding. Number 83. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 2nd down.
That's Mark Bradley, who caught a touchdown pass earlier in the game.
Watch him make the unblocked defender miss. He's going to make a miss, but then there's the holding there. Okay, on Sheldon Brown.
Sure.
Okay, now you got to let him go. Let him go. Just all you got to do is let him go. The hand is always quicker than the eye. That's what we would say as players. I think you got to let him go. You hold him real quick, then let him go.
10 Kansas City penalties, 7 on the offense today. 7 offensive penalties, and it's wiped out big gains, it seems like, almost on every one.
Todd Haley told his players after getting several penalties last week, 8 in all, that, hey, until we start to win games, we're not going to be given the benefit of the doubt.
2nd and 23. Charles is in there for Larry Johnson, and he'll bang his way to the 21-yard line. Hit by Parker and grabbed by Mays, and a gain of 3 on the play.
Todd Haley coaching up his team in terms of how to avoid those critical errors at important times in the football game. We saw Bradley on the holding call. He did not have to hold on to Sheldon Brown, cost his team a touchdown, but certainly have to just be more cognizant of the situation and understand that if you still have your hands wrapped around the shoulders on the outside portion of the defender, they're going to call it.
It's 3rd down and 12. Ryan with the block on the right side. There goes Castle, dumps it off to Charles, and hit on the play and brought down by Tracy White. And the gain to the 16-yard line, and he picks up 7 yards right there.
How about some movement by Matt Cassel on this play, getting rid of it, and Charles takes a lick. Listen in. Whew. Had to clear the sinuses.
Approaching the 2-minute warning. Well, after a loss opening week in Baltimore and losing to the Oakland Raiders last week at home, they are crushed here in Philadelphia today by the Chiefs.
To go for it on 4th down.
4th and 6. Charles back there with Cassel. Blitz is on. Caught by Copper. And he backpedals his way to the 8, and they got the first down. Picks up 8 yards on 4th and 6. That's his first catch. Copper played a couple games with Baltimore last year, a lot of his time with New Orleans before that.
Again, the poise and presence of Matt Cassel to deliver a strike while under pressure.
2-minute warning. Well, the Eagles today have scored on a 5-yard touchdown run by McCoy, a 1-yard touchdown quarterback keeper by Cobb, a 64-yard touchdown pass to Jackson, a couple of field goals by Akers, a 35-yard touchdown pass to Selleck. Chiefs got a touchdown pass to Bradley, 13 yards from Cassel, former New England Patriot quarterback who last year taking the place of Tom Brady was 10-5, 1st and goal at the 9. Charles in the backfield. Blocked by Ryan, the tight end. That is caught by Bobby Wade, and he will go into the end zone for a 9-yard touchdown reception, hit the last second by Hanson. Second touchdown pass by Matt Cassel.
Yeah, you love the way that Bobby Wade attacks the goal line. Watch him get vertical, breaking one tackle, then another to hit the goal line and get it into the end zone. He was very aggressive yards after the catch, and these are the kind of plays they're going to need from their wide receivers, the kind of plays Matt Cassel needs for his guys to make.
Here's the extra point now by Ryan Succop. Final pick of the 09 draft. Holding will be Dustin Colquitt. So you can see a lot of empty seats here in Philadelphia. It's turned out to be a beautiful day. A lot of rain last night and early this morning. Well, do you want to give, as you take a look at Michael Vick, do you want to give us your impressions of Vick today and what his day was all about after the big buildup, his first time on an NFL field since 06?
Not a lot of production, but I think for a guy who hasn't played in a meaningful game in 1,001 days after such a long time, you can see there's still a little bit of rust, and he told us there would be, but the key is no egregious errors, no turnovers of the football. We already saw Jeff Garcia, who hadn't been with this team long. You saw in the first snap he put the ball on the ground and turned it over, and Jeff Garcia went through training camp with the Oakland Raiders. So I think it would have been easy for Vick to maybe come in and make some mistakes or poor decisions. He was able to avoid that, and now he has to build upon it, continue to shake off the rust.
Succop looks like he is setting up for the onside kick, and the Eagles have got that front line all converged on, and Chiefs will send their numbers over there as well. That is caught. Is it Brett Selleck? I think it was. Why not? He's got a touchdown pass. He's caught 8 passes today, or 7 passes today for Selleck. 8, and a touchdown reception for 35 yards. Well, the Eagles get the AFC West, which they're licking their chops at, and now they're going to get a bye for next week, so another week to heal Westbrook, heal McNabb, heal Kevin Curtis.
Now that will not be an easy game out in Oakland, let's face it, because the Raiders are, their defense, I think with the addition of Richard Seymour, they're better on the defensive side of the ball. You know they're going to put up a fight. There, in my mind, are no easy weeks in the National Football League, but if you're looking at that schedule over the next few weeks, I think the Philadelphia Eagles should be able to rack up some wins.
Garcia under center, 1st and 10. And Buckley, Eldra Buckley, hit by Tank Tyler, grabbed by Tamba Hali. It's a gain of 4 down to the 36-yard line. The clock continues to tick, and Chiefs, although they have got 2 timeouts, will let it go. So as you take a look at some of the numbers, not only here, but around the NFL. Cobb, number 2 so far in that rotation.
I think you're going to see an Eagle on just about every board, even you know, with the rushing leaders. How about Maurice Jones-Drew having a huge day?
He is Brandon Jacobs with 92 yards. Big day for Sean Jackson with the touchdown catch. 149 yards of reception yards today, and Garcia is going to go to a knee, and the Eagles will look forward to their bye and go to 2-1 as they've got to compete in perhaps the toughest division in the NFL, the NFL Eastern Division.
Oh, absolutely, and that's going to be a run. But hey, I think if you were to talk to The Kansas City Chiefs, they understand the work that's cut out for them. And I think if you're Andy Reid, you feel good about the work you put in this week. And you're going to take some of these plays back in the Wildcat. You're going to analyze them. You're going to help Mike Vick to get better. You're going to be thoroughly pleased with your backup quarterback, Kevin Cobb, and the fact that he had over 300 yards passing for 2 consecutive weeks.
3rd and 7, NFC East, where the Eagles are, and that should be the final play of the game. So Michael Vick is brought back, and the Eagles come up with a nice win today. Tough day for Matt Castle, although he did throw a couple touchdown passes, one to Bradley for 13. Any words of hope for Chiefs fans?
Well, you know what? You just got to go back to work. I think you trust in your coach and Todd Haley, because he's going to make sure these guys work every single week to earn a starting job. And you got to love the way he dialed up plays.
All right, the final score is in, and Philadelphia has beaten the Chiefs 34-14.